Okay, so you hear this term everywhere, right? It's all over the news, it's in the movies, it's definitely on the phone in your hand. But what is artificial intelligence, really? Well, today, we're going to cut through all the noise and get right to the simple core idea behind AI.
You know, when you hear AI, it's easy to picture some kind of science fiction movie. Thinking robots, supercomputers that are going to take over the world. The headlines make it sound like it's either pure magic or this massive threat, and honestly, it can feel pretty overwhelming.
But the truth is, the core idea behind AI is way, way simpler than all that. And it's not some far-off thing in the future. It's already a huge part of your daily life, and you probably don't even notice it.
So, to really wrap our heads around artificial intelligence, we first got to take a quick look in the mirror and ask, what makes us intelligent in the first place? Just think about it for a second. When you learned how to ride a bike, you didn't pull out a physics textbook to calculate gravity and force, right? No way. You just got on, you wobbled, you probably fell a couple of times, but your brain learned from that experience. It just found the pattern of how to balance.
Or hey, what about recognizing a friend in a crowd? You don't have some mental checklist running, height, 5'8", eye color, brown. Nope. Your brain has simply learned the overall pattern of their face from seeing it again and again. See this knack for learning from experience and spotting patterns? That's the heart of what we call human intelligence.
Okay, so that idea, learning from experience, that's the key difference between AI and, a regular old computer. It really all comes down to how they learn.
Think about your basic calculator. It's a total rule follower. You program it with one strict rule. If someone types 2 plus 2, the answer is 4. And it'll do that 1,000,000 times without breaking a sweat. But if you show that same calculator a picture of a cat, it's completely lost. Why? Because there's no simple math rule for cat.
So that's the big puzzle, isn't it? How in the world do you teach a machine to recognize something as complicated as a cat or a human face or even language when there are literally millions of variations and no single perfect rule?
Okay, this next analogy makes it all click, I promise. Imagine you have two students. You've got student A. He's like our traditional computer. He just memorizes the answers in the back of the book. He knows 5 times 5 is 25 because he memorized it. But if you ask him 5 times 6, he's totally stuck. Then you have student B. She's the AI. She doesn't just memorize the answers, she practices thousands of different math problems until she understands the method, the pattern of how multiplication works. So when you give her a brand new problem she's never seen before, she can solve it. AI learns like student B.
And that finally brings us to the official definition. At its core, AI is just a field of computer science where we train computers to do the kinds of things that, up until now, have needed our own human ability to recognize patterns, things like seeing, hearing, and making judgments based on data.
So, look, if you only take away one thing from all this, let it be this. AI is essentially a super-powered, incredibly fast pattern finder. That's it.
And this is a really, really important point. When an AI looks at a photo and says that's a dog, it doesn't know it's looking at a fluffy, loyal companion. It doesn't feel anything. It has simply analyzed thousands and thousands of pictures that we humans have labeled dog, and it has found the statistical pattern of pixels, the common shapes, the textures that make up a dog. It's just incredibly powerful pattern matching, not actual understanding.
So, I know AI feels like this brand new thing that just exploded onto the scene, right? Well, the core idea has actually been kicking around for a very long time. I mean, decades. Believe it or not, the name artificial intelligence was actually dreamed up way, way back in 1956. A bunch of scientists got together at a workshop and started talking about this wild idea of making machines that could think. So yeah, they've been working on this for a while.
For a long time, AI was mostly just an idea stuck in research labs. It was theoretical. But then, something happened that got everyone's attention and showed what this pattern-finding power could really do.
That was 1997. An AI from IBM called Deep Blue beat the reigning world chess champion Garry Kasparov. This was huge. The machine wasn't smarter than him in a human way, but it could analyze the patterns on the board and predict moves so much faster and more thoroughly than any human possibly could. All right, so this stuff isn't just about chess champions or ancient history from the 50s. This technology, this pattern finding, it's all around you. In fact, you're probably holding it in your hand right now.
Okay, let's bring this home. You use this stuff every single day. Ever wonder how Netflix or YouTube just knows what show you'll want to watch next? That's an AI that found patterns in what you and millions of other people watch. What about when your phone's keyboard fixes your typo, or even suggests the next word you're going to type?
Yep, that's an AI that has learned the patterns of how we talk. And even those fun face filters on Snapchat and Instagram, that's AI finding the specific pattern of your face in real time to stick those bunny ears on perfectly.
Okay, so we figured out that AI isn't some kind of magic. It's just a really, really good pattern finder. But that leads to some pretty wild questions about where all this is heading.
So I'm going to leave you with a question to chew on. Think about this. If an AI can study, I don't know, 1,000,000 poems, and then write a brand new one that actually makes you feel something, does that AI have emotions? Or is it just such a good pattern finder that it can perfectly mimic the patterns of human feeling in its writing? And if it's that good, what's the difference? That's the kind of question we're all going to have to think about. Anyway, thanks for hanging out for this explainer.